And we are with the D Money Show. We got our man Thomas Ryan. Tom, welcome to the show. Bigly Sales.
Thanks, Darren. Good seeing you.
I had to say Thomas Ryan because I see you listed like in my database as Thomas, though you go by Tom, right? Friends call you Tom.
Yeah, friends call me Tom or Mr. Bigley. Mr. Bigley these days is the other one.
Mr. Big. I love it. Big Lee. So let's talk AI. And by the way, welcome back to the Affiliate Ball. You're in the sponsor lineup again. And included with that, we're doing this little mini series of interviews for our sponsors. So welcome back. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So let's talk about AI. I hear these days what you're doing is you're running a lot of calls right now through an AI voice. So
yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little more for those interested in using an AI voice about pricing and the quality and conversions? What have you learned?
Yeah, I mean, we're really the only guy. If you're doing millions of calls a month, we're really the only guys out there. So, for most of the other platforms out there, they haven't figured out kind of the basics. Having the phone lines is so important, having the phone lines work right on calls. So we do all the little things on the phone lines first. Like we built it from the SIP on up. We have WebRTC, we have our own SIP that we're running. That allows us to do a lot of things these other guys can't too. We can see if a carrier is just not putting the calls through. There's a lot of stuff people don't realize that happens. Sometimes carriers, like you're using certain lines, the carrier might not even put the calls through. They tell you they put it through, but the call never connects. So we can actually look, we can see if we're getting data packets back at the SIP level. We can check from the ground on up. Before we had that up and running, a large percentage of the calls would actually fail. They tell us they put them through, but they didn't. And then you have to get rid of kind of the bad carriers in the mix. So we're dealing with all the level ones now. So from a technical standpoint, we have that piece figured out. And then we handle all the spam remediation, make sure your number doesn't pop up as spam likely. As you know how this works. If your number pops up as spam, no one's taking that call. The only time someone's picking up that call is to, kind of yell at you a little bit or mess around with you if you're making that phone call. So
how's the speed? I mean, I know a lot of people that are using the AI voices. It's all about that lag time and everything. How do you rate your speed?
We slow it down. So I don't want it cutting people off. We make sure that it actually waits long enough for the person to answer. So typically I have it speak at about 0.75 to 0.85 seconds, that it waits till you're done talking and then it talks. But you're not going to have the 2, 3, 4 second lag with our system. It just doesn't happen these days.
Yeah. And you're doing mostly outbound, or is this inbound, or how does it work?
It's mostly outbound. So there's a lot of guys that are out there for inbound calls. I'm sure there's some decent solutions out there for inbound, but for outbound, you really have to get into the nitty gritty with, there's all the technical things to make it work right. We're doing local presence. We're doing that based on where the person actually lives. So I'll do it based on their zip code, not based on their area code. Because of that, we're typically getting about a 15% answer rate on dials. And then if we strip out any of the bad SIPs, because if you're getting live leads in or anything, you're gonna have some bad numbers in there. If we strip out all the bad SIPs and things like that, where it's impossible for that call to go through, we're at about 25% on average answer rate. And what most of the people are using it for is either live leads or everything your team hasn't closed last month. So your sales team, they didn't close it last month. They didn't close it last quarter. We run it through the AI. That's going to work, basically 100% of the time. You're going to have that. It's going to be cheaper than buying those leads new.
Yeah.
Giving those, 4 or 5 extra touches with the AI.
Yeah. Would I be right to assume that all of these calls are being generated through your numbers and not your clients?
Yeah, that's right. So what I'll do is I'll buy, depending on, how big the campaign is, anywhere between 200 and 1,000 numbers. We'll buy them all across the country. We'll buy them in all the major metro areas. And then we'll call from a local number where the person actually lives. So, I'm from Boston originally, right? If I moved out to LA where you are, I'm going to call you from a 310 instead of a 617, even if I have a 617 area code.
Yeah.
So
Um,
that really juices the answer rate, because now you think maybe it's the kid's school, or maybe it's the doctor's office, or maybe it's the place you're eating dinner tonight, and you're just way more likely to pick up the phone.
Yeah,
And
when
we
I
can
see a
actually,
local when I see a local number calling me, I don't answer because I always think, well, that's for sure the spam. Most of my people are outside of my own area code that I talk to. Even people that live locally. I'm in LA, so there's 818. If I see that area code, I know it's a spam. If it's 310 or a different LA number, maybe. But usually I'm like, no, I'm not going to answer that. But that's just
that's
me.
it.
And I'm sure there's a lot of old people out there who will answer every single time. I see.
Well, I can tell you it helps tremendously. So, like, I'm from the Boston area. If you call me from a 617 or a 781, like, I know it's spam. I know
Yeah.
it's spam. But
Yeah.
if you call me from a 954, well, shoot, that's where I live. I'm going, wait a minute. I should take this one. Right. And, sometimes it's the place you're having dinner, and sometimes it's the kid's school, or, the camp they're at, or whatever. And then, sometimes it's one of our calls. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have that 25% answer rate on, like real actual calls that were answered by something. It works.
So as far as the niches that you cater to, I'm sure that your agents are already programmed a certain way to kind of guide them towards the sale. And I'm curious, all that all that work was already done on your end, but I'm sure if a client has something a little bit different than everybody else, I'm sure they have to give you material, right? So they're going to give you like a PDF of all the info, or how do you train the agent?
So usually, and where we're the most successful is we're working with a call center that's well established. So it doesn't matter if it's a financial services brand. We work with a lot of financial services. They already have 50 guys in the call center. They already have their scripts, right? So we'll take your best sales script, and we'll turn it into AI for you, is
Yep.
basically how it works. We're going to take whatever script is producing for your sales reps that you give all your new reps when they come in, their objection list, how they're supposed to handle it. We take all that thing, 24 hours, we turn around, and we'll have a new sales script, programmed for you with the AI agent. And if there's a rush, we can do it faster than that.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really pretty amazing for that.
So let's talk volume. So if I have a huge list, what kind of like rate are we working at? How fast can you call a certain amount of people?
We can call it as fast as you want. So usually the constraint on the other side is the call center. If I'm doing a live transfer campaign, or if I'm doing, something where it has to hit people on the other end, um, I could send over 1,000 calls a minute. Your call center can't handle it, right? If I'm doing hundreds of transfers a minute, there's no way your call center can handle it on the other side. So we'll spread it out throughout the day. We'll call that list, throughout the day for basically however much your call center can handle. So they're fielding those calls, and they're able to hand them, and they're not hitting the floor on you, right?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is it's not 100% AI for some of your clients. It's a mixture. So they start off with the warm call that gets warmed up a little bit. They transfer it over to the call center. Is that like most of your business? Is that how most of your clients are doing it?
That's how a lot of it works. So, like, let's say I'm doing this for insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You need to talk to a licensed agent. You can't get health insurance and not talk to a licensed agent over the phone. Now, maybe someone who knows the rules better than I do will tell me, well, actually, if you can do it online and you can buy it online, this would be considered sort of like buying it online. I'd love to get a legal opinion on that. I don't have it yet. But most of the guys say, hey, we can have someone else warm it up, but to actually close that deal, you need to talk to a licensed insurance agent. So we'll ask 5, 10, 15 questions, make sure the people are a good fit, that we're not wasting the agent's time, and then we'll send over qualified people all day. Now we have some other clients who are doing things like e-commerce, or loans, and they might not talk to a person at all, right? In that case, the AI is going to do the entire call. The AI will ask the 10 or 15 questions. It'll get them out an application after, or it'll say, hey, I need 3 months of bank statements. So it will do the entire sales process. Something else we're doing is like declines on shopping carts, right? Someone's doing e-commerce, they went to buy something, the card got declined, that buyer walks away. Well, that's something that should have converted, right? So for us to call that guy back and say, hey, your card got declined, we can fix this for you. I have a different payment processor that you can use so we can get that product that you wanted. Right. And if you have any questions, I can answer those questions now. And then if they want to cross sell them, they want to upsell them, they want to do something like that, we can do it for them, as well. And then if we're doing something for home services and you need to do a scheduled appointment, that's our other use case, that we can schedule it, to your calendar. We have a calendar system as well, but a lot of people might want to just schedule it right to their calendar. So we'll integrate with Calendly, with cal.com, with Google Calendar, with Outlook, and we can just drop something directly on their calendar. So if I'm dealing with like a home services business, or if I'm dealing with a smaller call center, right, where they have 5 guys and the AI, we don't want a lot of calls in the floor, or if they have 2 guys, like you can't do live transfers when there's only 2 people on the other side. Calls are just going to get dropped left and right. So you set it up as appointments instead.
So what would you say are your top biggest verticals that you guys are running right now? So if I'm listening right now and I'm in the industry and who our industry involves, give me the top one so that we get to the most business right now.
Yeah. So financial services, number one, easily number one, because that's all the insurance stuff, all the loan stuff, all the debt settlement, credit repair. I mean, really anything you can think of in financial services, personal loans, business loans, you name it. We're doing that. And then, this works really well for home services too, especially if it's something where it's high intent, where speed to lead really matters. Like if you're doing plumbing or HVAC or anything like that, it's 95 degrees out where I am right now. If your AC goes down, it's not like, I get to call that guy back in 3 days and, maybe they're a good fit. If you miss that call, it's over. So, we really crush it and that sort of thing. And then anything like that, so bathrooms, roofs, siding, pest control, you name it with home services. And then, we have a bunch of other things. We're doing some e-commerce, right? We're doing some legal, SSDI, MVA, things of that sort, but they're not as big. So number one, financial services. Number two, home services. And then we're also doing fundraising. So we're doing that for some PACs right now really successfully. It works well for raising money. But again, where this works best is someone has this, they have something that's working right now, and then they want the AI to scale it up.
Yeah. Word on the street is that you made an arrangement with Experian, and now you're running soft credit pulls for your clients as well. So if they're doing anything in home improvement, that's a big part of the game. You already know it's a qualified lead. Tell us more.
Yeah, or financial services too. So, we actually set this up for one of our financial service companies. And we're a direct partner with Experian now. So we can do a soft pull on the fly with the AI on the call and then decide, hey, we're not going to book this appointment. Maybe we send it down a secondary path. So if this is for, let's say mortgage, and the guy's coming back with a 550 credit score, well, no one's going to give that guy any money, right? But we can send him to credit repair so he can get that house now. If, you're putting on a new roof, something like that, I got a quote on my roof the other day, it was $90,000. If you earn 30 grand a year, or, you have a 500 credit score, like they don't want to come out and waste their time because you are not going to put a new roof on. And all these home service guys, they want full projects. They don't want to do a repair, right? They don't want to show up at someone's house to do a repair. They don't want to buy a lead to do a repair. They want to
So basically you're walking them through it in real time with your AI, so they can send them the link to their phone or their email, get their approval to run it. Is that how it would work?
We can just ask them over the phone. So all of this is us actually talking to them.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we'll say, we want to get your full legal name, right? What's your full address? And then we'll go and ask them, there's some very specific language we have to use, but, we're going to do a soft credit pull. in conjunction with our partner, XYZ company, and basically get their approval. And if they say, yeah, go ahead, then we'll run a soft credit pull on the fly. And then we can use that to determine where to send that lead, right? Do we send it to, here, or do we send it over here?
That sounds like a big upgrade from the way it used to be, because I remember the few people who even knew to do that, they were only doing it through sending them something, and then that delays it, and then the technical problem. But getting them on the phone to do it with your AI, that's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, and we can do it again real time. So the person might have to wait about 5 seconds, say, hey, okay, we got the results back. You're a great fit for whatever program it is. We're going to send you over there.
Wow, that's great. So tell me about the trade show scene. I know that you're doing a lot of trade shows these days, and I'm talking to other people in the industry, and they're finding a huge market right there in the home services trade shows. So tell me your favorite trade shows for business and why. Which ones?
So it depends really what you're doing. I like going to the little industry shows, right? So I like going to the shows for the particular industries that we're going to. For me, anywhere the brokers are, right? If someone's a broker, I don't care what industry they're a broker in. Anyone who's making lots of outbound calls, not so much the technical back end stuff. Those are the ones that work best for me. So where you're actually meeting the end buyers, if you're in a particular industry, those are the ones where it's best. And for us, we want call centers really 50 and up is ideal for us.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, this sounds amazing. Now, do you recommend any call centers for people that are just getting started and they just found you, but they don't have a call center to transfer it to? Do you have any call centers?
We can do the whole thing for them. I mean, we don't have to send it to a call center. Just most of the clients that we're targeting, they have 500 guys in the call center already. They have 200 guys in the call center already. And they're not ready to come in and just say, hey, all of you out the door. We have AI now.
Yeah.
And, the AI is doing most of the stuff that people can do, but there's still some of the things that people might do a little better.
Yeah.
So, as far as empathy, it's okay with empathy, right? But, really having it be personalized to them and driving the sale. We're making that better every day. We're fine tuning this and finding new ways to do it every day.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people, if it's a multi-step process, 3-4 steps in the process, they'll probably use us to do one of those steps.
Right.
If it's something where, we're talking a 3-minute call on a sale, a 5-minute call on a sale, we have to hit one computer system, pull some prices, do a sale. Yeah, we do that all day long without involving any other call centers at all.
Yeah, and I hear you have a pretty quick turnaround too. What is it like? Within a few days, you could have somebody up and running?
Yeah, so usually the bottleneck is on their side, getting everything ready for us. If we have some data and someone can get the API set up right away, we're 72 hours. I mean, it's 3 days to get the phone line set up, to do all the spam remediation. Maybe the phone company's slow and it could drop to 96, right? It's 4 days instead of 3.
Yeah.
But it's usually we get the phone set up, and that's the longest part. We can do the prompt in a day. It's just waiting on the phone company to do their thing.
So your origin story, I believe you started in 2020. So you launched this during the pandemic?
I launched during the pandemic, but we weren't really doing AI yet. So I launched as a CRM, and then we kind of realized no one wanted another CRM. So, everyone who was decent sized had a CRM already. And then all the ones and twosie type people, if they weren't using a CRM, it's because they didn't want to use a CRM. So we didn't find a lot of opportunity there. With this, we had people using our tools though, right? We had people using our tools to send out 20,000 texts at a time, 100,000 texts at a time, 50,000 emails at a time, things like that. And then we saw how everyone was kind of screwing it up, that they would send out these giant blasts. They would take, a month to get back to all the people. So you send a text to someone 5 minutes, the guy looks at it a minute later and is like, yeah, I'm interested. And then you get back to him, sometime in July, right? That doesn't work. So, we were going, how do we fix this? How do we do this better for the clients? Do we have them do, smaller stack blast? Should we manage it for them? Like, how are we going to fix this? And then we saw what was happening with AI, and it was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this can fix everything. So we literally put in to get access to ChatGPT's API the second they dropped it. We weren't in the beta group. We got into the beta group for Claude. But I've been building on it ever since.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this has been amazing. Is there anything that you can tell us about your vision in the future? I mean, you seem to be pretty ahead of the curve. So what's coming up next? I mean, I'm sure you're already setting yourself up for the next big vertical or the next tech. I mean, where do you think things are going?
So we're launching our MCP in a couple of days. And I know it's kind of a buzzword and people are like, why would you want an MCP? It just means that you can literally go and say, hey, I want this built out, and give it to Claude to do. And then we're going to have a library of everything to be able to do. We're launching our MPC in a couple of days, and you can literally go in with Claude Code or Codex or, Grok Build or any of those tools and be able to say, hey, I want to build this out, and it's going to build out the whole thing for you in 5 minutes. And we have a library set up. And that library is going to have all the base prompts already written the way that we need them to, with all the learned lessons over the past couple of years. Yeah. And the next thing that we're adding is that you'll be able to have one line of code that you drop on a website. And with that one line of code, you'll be able to go and have voice or, basically SMS on the website, a chatbot set up on the website where everything works, but with one line of code. So it can take someone through that whole sales process on a website. One line of code set up with, Grok Build or Claude Code or Codex, So I'm really excited about that because there's a lot of guys that don't want to do live transfers. There's a lot of guys that only want inbounds. And the inbound guys, they're just so worried about TCPA that they'll only take calls that way, or fraud or, performance. So with this, now anyone who comes to their website, any web traffic that gets sent in, they can literally just add this on here and have it live. So that's coming out sometime end of this month, early next month. We'll have that out the door. And
you had something going on. I can always tell.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that one. I mean, that opens it up to anyone who has a website now.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world that you want to just drop this on your website, you can now have voice on there, fully interactive and working, and set it up in 5 minutes.
Before I let you go, I just thought of a question I should have asked earlier. Tell me about the voices. Now that we're talking about voices, do you have multiple choices, or can you choose a voice depending on where someone lives to kind of sound like them, or is it all just the same voice?
No, we have, about 1,000 of them that we're using. So, we're leaning on the top tech that's out there. We're using Cartesia and 11 Labs. And then we have some of the voices that are out there from NVIDIA. NVIDIA has some really nice voice products as well. Mm-hmm. So we've actually moved most of our stuff to open source. That helps so much with latency, right? If you're dependent on ChatGPT or you're dependent on, DeepGram or one of these guys, if they're having a bad day, mm-hmm. your AI is going to be terrible that day. So when you're self-hosting this stuff, you can really control, what's going on.
So I'm assuming then that your AI knows how to speak Spanish as well.
We do a lot of Spanish campaigns, and part of my team is in South America. Mm-hmm. So, they say the Spanish sounds just perfect.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, again, congratulations on all
your Spanish is better than the English.
I love that. You've been nominated now for the AFI Awards. It seems like every year. A lot of people go through the system and they say Bigly Sales is on the cutting edge of AI. So, I got to listen to them. And, as a team, we keep putting you up there as one of the top 4 AI companies in the industry. So congrats for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else is coming out there. I hope to see you in New York. I know you're sponsoring. I hope you can make it. Did you know that you could actually pitch your company now at the Affiliate Ball with a panel of judges? So, I don't know if you would do that, but let me know, because you're pretty good at pitching. I mean, you just did it for me. I thought it was great. I would give you a 10. So could you do it on stage in front of our comedian judge and industry panelists?
We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to do my best to make it up there. So.
All right, I love it. Thanks again for the interview. Everybody, check out bigleasales.com. Sign up now. I am sure it's going to boost your sales. You can at least use it for your outbounds, which he's crushing it on, and do your transfers and select your voice. And you got 1,000 of them to choose from. So get up Tom. What is it? Tom at bigleasales.com.
Tom at bigleasales.com. And the no-brainer on this is, any deals that your reps aren't closing. If you have a decent-sized call center, there's any deals that your reps haven't closed last month, we'll take them. We'll turn it into business for you.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on the D Money Show and our special affiliate ball sponsor series. Thanks again for being a sponsor.
Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.